What's up, everybody? James Duggan with IGN here to discuss crypto. I'm going to be talking you through some gameplay that I recorded at a capture event in Hollywood, California. Went to check out Season 3 Meltdown for Apex Legends, the new map World's Edge, as well as Crypto, the new legend. I got a lot of playtime with him, had a lot of fun, got to check out the charge rifle, which we'll see a bit of in this video. For my complete impressions, check IGN.com. But for now, let's just discuss the gameplay that's going on right now. So I land at a new spot which is called Geyser. I landed here a couple times and I really enjoy it, picking up the Havoc there, getting a second one, which is actually a pretty good starting loadout. So we'll get into Crypto's abilities in some of these subsequent clips. This one is a little bit action-oriented, but actually we'll see his tactical ability right here because I fat-fingered it. Not what I meant to do, just meant to shoot that guy, which I just did, so that's very nice. One thing you'll notice there is it actually passively spotted the enemy for me, but we'll talk about that later. Crypto, unlike Watson, who I, obviously very powerful, didn't really care for, though. Crypto, completely my style. That said, if you're just fighting somebody who doesn't have something like the ability to wraith away or the ability to grapple somewhere, so you kind of just have to rely on your gun skill.
And right here, got one. Fighting. Reloading. That was the last of the squad.
I absolutely love this map while we're on the subject of World's Edge. Geyser, I think, is a really cool location, and there's so many different ecologies, different features. Geyser, as the name would imply, has a giant geyser shooting out of the middle, which we will see put to use here, but even just kind of the aesthetic, the use of color here, is totally different than you'll find in the more volcanic or frozen sections of the map. It's a larger map than Kings Canyon, and I only have about 6 to 8 hours of playtime on the thing, but I have to say, I think it's a better one. It's hard to say. I'm definitely going to miss Skull Town, things of that nature. So I'm just looking around here for any other teams. You'll notice that I actually didn't send my drone out again. It was right where I left it. And it'll stay there, and it'll passively spot enemies for you, which we'll see a bit of in just a minute here. And the drone is very forgiving. There's no cooldown in terms of recalling it. And you can just keep it somewhere for as long as you want, as long as you don't get out of range. And the range is tremendous. I'm going to pick up the charge rifle here.
1 minute.
Got my ally respawned there.
Give me a second.
You can see the drone distance in the bottom left-hand corner there. And you can hold H at any point to recall the drone, which puts it back on your back and allows you to toss it from where you're at. It's important to keep track of your drone. You don't want to just set it and forget it. You kind of want to keep on top of it.
I'm moving over there.
We could check out here.
Here comes the geyser.
Syringe here.
Whiffing that, but that's okay because I need the syringe. That was intentional, guys. I intentionally whiffed that. I'm going to heal up here. My ultimate is ready, but we're going to talk about the ultimate later when I use it. Right now I'm going to take the zip towards the geyser, take the geyser into the circle, which is very close. The geyser works like a redeployment balloon, but it's much faster, much more epic. Here we go. Sends you straight up, and then you can fly back down. Probably a shorter distance than the redeployment balloon, but nonetheless, very useful. And what's cool about landing at Geyser is if you just get absolutely screwed and get no weapons, then you can bounce out at a moment's notice. We have some enemies. I'm going to try putting the charge rifle to use. Fair warning, there are no charge rifle kills in this clip, but there is plenty of damage, and the way the charge rifle works, I quite like. It's different than Titanfall 2, or just its appearance in the Titanfall series, in the sense that that little initial beam deals damage. So that's kind of like a trace rifle, and then think like a Spartan laser from Halo 3. I have a down teammate here. I'm going to try and scout it out. I think at this point I was just trying to get some drone footage. So probably not the best play because I should definitely be helping my teammate, but trying to do what I can.
I see one.
My ultimate is up, and in retrospect, I definitely should have used it here, but you can see the little outline of the enemy Octane engaging on the team. I'm going to take some shots at this player. The charge up time and that little incremental damage serves a purpose from a design perspective, both in terms of the person who is shooting as well as the person who's being shot. The person who's shooting can kind of dial it in based on that damage, and the person who's being shot, they get a little tiny bit of a telegraph, a little bit of a warning before that big, massive 45 body shot damage comes down the line.
Yeah, I put one down. That's one step closer.
We're going to jump into some other clips here. Here's a really good example of how you can kind of use the drone to scout ahead and immediately have kind of an actionable response to it. So I'm going to toss it out. It's already in the air.
I'll let you know what attacking that area.
I see a player, and you can actually see right there, I get that notification. If we go back and slow that down just a little bit, I get that HUD notification, and that's not me. That's the drone doing the work. That's the drone passively in the air, spotting that enemy, and it gives you this kind of Bloodhound-esque see-through walls spot, and as part of his passive, his whole team can actually see that. Let's move on to some ultimate usage here. This was actually captured by our associate gameplay editor, Stella. She comes in here and uses the EMP ultimate, drone EMP, to great effect. Her team wasn't necessarily in a position to follow up, but just taking a look at it again, there's essentially a charge up time, and this ultimate deals 50 shield damage, slows players, and destroys traps. So quite a lot of use out of this. My first impression of Crypto, in terms of a power ranking standpoint, is he is incredibly powerful. I think this drone is super useful. So much so that I think there are probably going to be some nerfs imminent in terms of like the recharge time when it's destroyed, stuff like that. Alright, so I'm able to see some players here. I go in for an ultimate myself, but that player's already down, so nothing there. But what's noteworthy here is this actually hits me. I asked a developer about this, whether the drone EMP can hit Crypto. The developer said no, but I have multiple clips that show that it clearly does, so I don't know if that was just this particular build that's been changed in the live build. But regardless, that was my experience. Let's keep rolling this clip. I hear a res, and you know what to do when you hear a res.
Yeah, I put one down. That was the last one.
So if you play Apex Legends, you're very familiar with those billboards, those large screens that show the kill leader, the champion squad, things like that. Fun fact, when you look at those using Crypto's drone, it'll actually just tell you straight up if there are any enemy squads in the drone's immediate range. All right, so let's take a look at one more clip. This is a long one, and I'm just going to talk you through my thought process here, as well as what I'm doing with Crypto. So I ping, because I hear somebody, I hear footsteps, just so my team is aware and can respond as quickly as possible. Wonderful thing about Crypto is you can send out your drone as soon as you want to, so you don't have to put yourself at risk. You can put your drone at risk. And when the drone is destroyed, it goes into a cooldown. The developer told me it was a minute and a half. My experience was it was more like 30 seconds, but again, that could be a disparity between the build that I was playing and the build that's going to go live. So I get a little cue there. Again, that's not some ability I'm activating, that's just the drone automatically detecting that because it is visible. The pings are me, though. It will not ping, but it will reveal it for your allies. So I'm going to go ahead and chase that. If you'll notice, I left my drone exactly where it is, so I can just hit Q and immediately go back in. Being kind of cautious here. This guy's wide open. I got detected here, and you have this little UI element ducking that triple take shot there. You have that UI element that pops up that lets you know that you've been detected. The drones are very small and somewhat difficult to hit, but they die in a single shot of basically any weapon. I'm going to dive into this building here. A lot more urban environments in World's Edge. And just recharge my shield here. I hear somebody, and sure enough... Sorry, friend. Give me your ammo and your 99, please. This guy had some good stuff. And that's actually me getting hit by a Crypto ultimate. So my shields are down by 50 points. Pretty powerful stuff with the utility it brings, the scouting potential, and just the straight up damage. But obviously Crypto has to be in the drone for that. Though you can pop the ultimate outside of the drone, and it'll just trigger wherever the drone is, even if it's on your back, I believe. Drone detected again. Got a teammate down.
Reloading. Yeah,
This is one of the situations where there's so much fire happening that everybody's just coming in. So we're going to be in this building for the duration.
Being attacked. Reloading. 끝장냈다. That was got the banner. I'm not giving up on them.
And try and loot up. Gonna shield swap there. There's a double tap trigger, which for the G7 Scout, as well as the EVA shotgun, basically fires 2 shots for every 1 pull of the trigger.
Etching into my eye in the sky. Yeah, I took one down.
And in classic Apex fashion, here comes a fresh, full team of 3 players who are playing very aggressively and very well. And they did a great job finishing off the squad there, so kudos to them. So, that was some crypto gameplay. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And for all things Apex, you're already in the right place, so keep it locked.